Hi everybody, this is Barry Schwartz with the Search Engine Roundtable. Today is Friday, April 16th, 2010. This is the Search Buzz video recap. This is the news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable over the past week or so. And I figured we have several topics we want to discuss today, and some of it's not so news related, so we'll just go ahead and go through it right now, and I'll try to go in order of what I think is most important. The biggest news this week is that Google announced, actually last Friday after the video was published, they announced that site speed, how fast your pages load on your website, is now a ranking factor. That means that part of Google's 200 plus ranking factors is this new one, which is how fast your site loads. Google has said time and time again in this post that this only impacts fewer than 1% of the search queries, meaning most sites and most searches, majority of all these sites and searches on the web will not be impacted by this. They launched this basically a few weeks ago. They were testing it since then, and nobody really noticed this anyway. So if you do have a really slow site, I'm suspecting in Google Webmaster Tools you can actually see how fast your site is according to Google. If it's like 99% slower than the rest of the web, then you have something to worry about. Otherwise, I don't really think you have anything to worry about. We have more links to this and more information over at the Search Engine Roundtable at scroundtable.com on April 12th. The next topic is that Google released a new search query report, which is called the Top Search Queries. You just go to Google Webmaster Tools, you click on Google Webmaster Tools, and then you go to the Top Search Queries report. And there you'll see that they totally revamped the Top Queries report. They added these nice little cute charts. You can see the charts, I don't know if you can see them, but let me zoom in. Actually, I'll overlay them in the video themselves. They added these nice little charts that show you not just the impressions you get for each keyword, but also the click-through, which then translates into the click-through rates. So you actually see click-through rates per your keywords. Google has added more than 100 keywords now. Now you can go through pagination to see how many keywords you actually rank for. In addition, you can actually filter by date range or by keywords. So you can actually see the charts by date range and by keywords. So you can filter out different keywords. Also, you can actually break through into a keyword. For example, you can actually look at one specific keyword and then see, based on the position of that keyword. Obviously, people have personalized results or localized results, and Google and your search results for me versus search results for you might differ. So I might rank number 2 for a certain keyword phrase when I search for it, but that keyword phrase when you search for it might be number 4. So Google actually shows you the breakdown of the impressions you get per keyword, but also per that position of that keyword, and it also shows you the click-through rate by that position. So people are actually seeing that being ranked number 1, number 2, and number 3, there's a nice drop down in terms of the click-through rate once you get past that 3 or 4 mark. Even number 1 has a very nice click-through rate as opposed to number 2. It also shows you the impressions and click-throughs based on the landing page of that search result. So sometimes Google might link that query to a different search result, different landing page, maybe indented results and stuff like that. So you have to take a look at that as well. So it's pretty impressive. I'll show you some of the charts on the actual video itself. So those are the big two Google related announcements, SEO related announcements. Google announced on the search results this week that you can now search archives of the archives of Twitter. So they worked a partnership deal with Twitter where they have all their tweets, and you can actually go through a timeline to see old tweets. Beforehand, it was really hard to find tweets, so if you wanted to search for, let's say, earthquake, and you wanted to see over time, over like months or even days or hours, to see how the spikes and trends of the keyword earthquake has appeared in Twitter, you can actually do that now using Google Twitter archive search. It's pretty nice. It has a nice graph. It has a nice amount of data. And it actually is the only search results site that actually shows powered by Twitter or powered by somebody else on the actual Google search results page, which is pretty neat. Obviously, this means any public tweet that you have tweeted in the past is public, and it's basically available to Google and to other people. And so whenever you tweet, be careful, and that's obviously common sense, I would think. And hopefully Hopefully you're aware of that. So it's a pretty neat search tool that Google released. Also, Bing and Twitter, Bing is actually including now tweets, or testing tweets in their search results. Google's been doing this for a while. Also, Bing has been doing this, and Yahoo's been doing this as well. But now Bing is enhancing that, and they've been testing. If they think something's trending and hot, they will show the latest tweets about that as well. If you do a search for a navigational type of query, they might show social tweets, social results around that brand. This is something we wrote about on April 14th if you want to see more information about it. Here's an interesting topic that we discussed this week. Is Black Hat SEO criminal? Mikkel from I think he's from somewhere in Scandinavia. I think I could be wrong. Somewhere, I'm not sure. I think Denmark, but I could be wrong. Anyway, he is a well-known SEO. He's been in the SEO space for a really long time. He's the guy who walks around the conferences with the red suit and black shirt. He is also a very well-known Black Hat SEO. And he wrote a blog post called Confessions of the Black Hat SEO. And what he said was that typically Black Hat SEOs do whatever it takes to win the battle, meaning get the search results, get the rankings. But at the same time, Black Hat SEOs will not go past a certain point. And he doesn't want Black Hat SEOs to be considered hackers, because Black Hat SEOs will not hack your website. They will not go into your website and hack it. They will not do that. They will not go beyond and destroy your website by making it filthy with comment spam. They will not destroy your website in order to benefit themselves. They will, however, go push the line by do cloaking. They might buy links. They might do things to get links that other people might not do. They might do content spam and stuff like that, but they will not destroy a fair website that's not looking to compete with them in order just to rank for their search results. And he wanted to make that clarification. I don't know if everybody would agree with that, but we have a link and all this information on April 16th at SERoundtable.com. Talking about links, on April 14th, we wrote a blog post about Yell.com. Yell.com is a pretty large online yellow page site, and Google Webmaster Central help thread was posted where people were debating the facts over if Yell.com is selling links or not. Now, we have some examples of links that are no-followed from sponsor links and stuff like that, but at the same time, they are a directory in some sense, and Yahoo also does the same thing. The DMOZ does the same thing as well. So the question is Yell.com selling links? And there's debate back and forth about it, and it's really a big question. You can see how gray that type of area is. Later on, a Yell.com representative named Matthew came into the forums and said, hey, we are not selling links. It's a great debate, but actually there's a lot of false assumptions, he says. He says Yell.com does not sell links. So he goes through different various reasons, blah, blah, blah. You can see this information. Bottom line is Google, I doubt, would ever come out and say Yell.com is selling links or not. They might penalize their page rank, but that's not going to happen for a little bit anyway. And John Wu from Google says, I prefer not to discuss third-party sites, but he finds it interesting to see the different opinions about something like this. And if you want to go ahead and report pay links, this is how you do it, and they'll look into it. But he doesn't say specifically anything about Yell.com. It's an interesting debate. We have 2 posts about it this week. You can definitely take a look at that if you like. The 2 different two different search market share reports have come out. One from ComScore and one from Hitwise. Hitwise shows that Google still has about a 70% market share. And Yahoo has 15%, Bing has 10% or so. ComScore says Google has 65%, Yahoo has about 17%, and Microsoft has about 11% search market share. So those are the different numbers that came out this week from ComScore and Hitwise. You can see these details at April 12th at SERoundtable.com. Since we're on search market share details, over at the Chirp conference, which is basically Twitter's conference for developers, the CEOs announced some data and some analytics about how well Twitter's doing. And part of that was that they announced that Twitter has about 19 billion searches per month. 19 billion searches per month puts it over Yahoo and Bing combined in the number of searches based on the latest ComScore results that we have. Google has about 88 billion searches per month, but Twitter has 19 according to according to Twitter, not according to ComScore. There's no third-party stats agency that's actually saying there's no third-party thing that's actually saying how many search results Twitter has. 75% of the Twitter access is done anyway through API, so it's really hard for a third-party agency to actually capture that data. In any event, if Google is 88 billion searches per month and Twitter is 19 billion, Yahoo's 9.4 billion, and Bing is 4.1 billion searches per month. So that makes Twitter a pretty impressive search engine. That being said, Twitter announced this week that they will be testing. They will be testing promoted tweets, and that is basically going to be tweets embedded directly in the search results of Twitter search. Question is, are those promoted tweets going to be embedded also in the API calls? I'm not really sure. It's pretty cool how they handle this. It's basically like an AdWords model for Twitter, where you're doing searches, but I think those actually sponsored listings will be directly in the search results. That being said, they will be labeled as promoted and highlighted as promoted as well, so that people know that it's actually a sponsored ad. Eventually, Twitter says they will do something similar to the stream that you're looking to, so they'll look at your followers and your tweets and try to bring in relevant sponsored results, and we'll see how that works. But that's something they're working towards, and they haven't done that yet. If they have 19 billion searches per month, I'm sure they can monetize that pretty well, and the question is how well and what will they actually do to monetize that traffic. Speaking about monetization, Google announced their earnings last night, and their revenue was up 23%, their net income was up 37%. Things are just doing great, like they do every single month. Google's just doing unbelievable. The cool part is that if you look at their earnings, they have $26.5 billion of cash sitting in their bank account. Basically cash equivalents, or very short-term marketable stuff which they can sell at any point. So they have a lot of money. Other interesting stats that came out of their annual report is that Google owned sites generated about $4.4 billion, which is 66% of their total revenue. AdSense, or network of revenue, such as AdSense types of programs, earned $2.04 billion, which is 30% of the revenue. Paid clicks increased approximately 15% over the first quarter of 2009, and increased about 5% over last quarter, the fourth quarter of 2009. Cost per click prices also increased 7% for the first quarter of 2009, and 4% over the fourth quarter, last quarter. Google also has more employees than did last quarter. They have 20,621 employees, and last quarter they had 19,835 things. So they're actually doing pretty well, but the most important things for us is the AdSense income, the search ad income, the play clicks, how the people are clicking more, and how we have more people clicking, and how cost per click prices actually increased, which is interesting. Finally, just a search-related forum type of discussion. Google AdWords Help Forum. They're looking for more participants, so they're offering prizes and stuff like that. Basically, we have a post about this on April 12th. If you're interested, if you're an AdWords expert and you want to win prizes, you can go there and you could participate, and Google will give prizes to those who answer the best types of questions, stuff like that. So if you want more details about that, we have a post at April 12th at SEOroundtable.com. If you're into videos, and I think people who are watching this are probably into videos, I thought it would be cool if somebody did a, The Office, the show where you have a bunch of people in the office and they pretty much mock how an office environment is. It would be neat if somebody did like an office theme, but for the SEO office, and basically it mocks different myths about SEO and stuff like that. So, for example, I was thinking just off the top of my head, it's not really SEO related, but you have somebody go to Google Maps, and they constantly refresh the satellite view or the street view just because they think it's real time. Like, they're constantly refreshing. They want to see when their boss comes to work, so they're constantly refreshing the map to see when their boss drives up to work. That's one example of how ridiculous The Office is in terms of how myths happen, and people sometimes think that Google Maps is real time. And when I go to the Google Maps forum, you see people saying, "Why is in real time, why can't I see things? So it's pretty funny if somebody would do like an office type of theme or skit, did a video of it, and pretty much mock some SEO myths, maybe one or two, maybe, you know, I don't think I have the resources to do this weekly, but it would be pretty funny to see something like that. So if you're into videos, you have the personnel, and you have the personality, it would be great to see something like that. Anyway, that pretty much recaps the Friday, April 16th edition of the Search Buzz video recap. Again, my name is Barry Schwartz. This is the news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at SERoundtable.com over the past week. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.